All right, Kev, how we doing?
Aye, not bad, mate. Not bad. Missing a couple of bodies, like, but there
Mm.
we go.
I know it's not all. We've won two games in a row. It's just the two of us left. It's the positive factors came into it.
That's
I
right. I
decided
mean,
I could come back as well. That's it.
it's an advantage. Corbett is. I don't think he's seen a league victory this season. So from that point of view, I think maybe he needs to stay away a wee bit longer. That's back-to-back victories, mate.
That's mad, actually. To be fair, as you know, I've been, and you can probably hear it as well. I've been ill since the start of the year, so I missed the game on the second and the weekend there. So I don't think I've actually seen us win since. Couldn't even tell you the last time I've seen this one. So I might be in the similar boat as Corbett, live in person anyway. So not ideal at all. But I welcome back to This Is My Story. Happy New Year, all everyone in listener land. Um, we're just going to obviously go over the last two games, go over the sort of transfer activity because the window is now open. There's plenty of rumours flying about. Look at the two wins in a row because we're class now and we're only, what is it, 7 points for fourth or something like that, which is mental. And ready to take on Europe again next year as well. But how's things been, Kev? Good festive period for you? Well,
Well,
New Year
um,
period.
New Year so far this year's been great. Unbeaten. But no, I worked, as I said on the last pod, I've worked over the sort of festive period. Only had a couple of days off here and there. But yeah, all good. It was an interesting start to the year with what I would class as a good call out or a good turnout, should I say, in regards to what we spoke about on our last pod around. We classed it as a protest. I think protest is probably the wrong wording to use, but it was really just about understanding or making the club and the Foundation of Hearts understand where we as fans feel or how we feel at this moment in time. So, thanks to those of you who did turn up for the pre-game protest against Motherwell. When we spoke about this, what we didn't want, and Corbett did sort of call this out, is we didn't want people just to stand outside on the plaza and hurl abuse at a building. That genuinely looks a little bit like you're mad and ready to howl at a full moon or the next full moon. It was really just about making sure that the club and, as I say, the Foundation of Hearts understand that the fans aren't happy at this moment in time. From that point of view, to see the folk turn out, a number of people will approach Corbett, myself. Some folk approached me that I didn't even know, but it was nice for folk to actually come along and just show in numbers that they're not happy. It's as simple as that. Chanting, as I say, directly at Budge or McKinley or folk, within the board itself. That's not what we're about. It's the wrong way of going around and going about things. I remember the days of Chris Robinson and Leslie Deans. I remember the days way back before that when protests did happen. They could be volatile at times, but I find that if that is what you are addressed with as an individual, some people can dig their heels in. They become a little bit like the Antichrist that they don't want to release. They become, well, I'm just going to stand here and I'm going to, be a bigger wank than I maybe am normally. So from that point of view, as I say, wasn't exactly the warmest of days, but folk did turn up. And I know perfectly well that people are trying to diffuse the whole situation by saying that the numbers didn't turn up. Yeah, I think that in itself tells you a hell of a lot, or it does, in my opinion. Folk try to diminish what actually was decent numbers to show regards or disregards for the way things are actually happening at this moment in time.
It was the same people that said they didn't want people shouting at a building or any aggravation or anything like that, but then were shocked when there was what 600-700 people there that sat and made their presence felt, but nothing else more than that. That was it. It's different agendas, so Kev. But as you say, I just want to echo that. Well done to everyone that went and made their feelings sort of known by doing the right thing. For me.
Yeah, we've spoke about it enough. The club are in a position now much better than they were at any point in the last let's say 10, 15 years. So from that point of view, we need to push on. We're not in that same world any longer. We're in a better world. We're in a better place, and we raised a bar in regards to our performances and the way in which we were working last season, finishing third convincingly. That simply has not happened this year. What did the club or what do people expect us to do? Just go, aye, fine, no problem, bash on, and that's what it was all about. So, good to see that. Has that had an impact? Well, yeah. Look at we beat we won against Motherwell, we won against Dundee United, back-to-back victories for the first time this season. I'm not saying Corbett definitely will say, but I'm not saying that we are to be credited with such performances.
Direct correlations, yeah, of course. You can't put 2 and 2 together and make 8 or whatever. It's fine.
Well, some people will though.
Absolutely. No, next one. Obviously, it's been quite a busy. What date are we on? 8th of January. Busy first few days of the transfer window. Anyway, we heard the news that Elton Kabangu, striker from, is he actually Belgian?
No, I don't believe he's. I think he's came in from Union Gillies. I think the Boy Cup. I think he's probably maybe born in Belgium, but maybe has. Maybe
he is actually from Belgium as well.
All right.
Sorry, apologies. So, yes. So he is Belgian. 26-year-old striker, signed obviously with our links to Jamestown, with it being St. Gilloise. Happy with that, Kev? What's thoughts?
I mean, everybody's probably seen the YouTube footage, on Twitter, on X, and wherever else you get your social media links from. Yes, the guy looks quick, knows where the back of the net is. My only concern's not the right word, but my only worry around it is the fact that if he's quick, we need somebody else to be as quick with him. He can't do all this on his own. I know that there's been a number of rumours, possible discussions with wingers as well, which is quite interesting, given that I read in the papers or read in today that Barry Mackay and Oda have been told that your career or your relationship with Hearts is not over. However, at this moment in time, you're either not showing what you need to be showing in training or whatever. Which is quite a strange one, because I would have thought, given that neither of them have really had any first team exposure over the last 2-3 months since Critchley's came in, I would have thought they would have been possible ones for movement out of the club and onto whether it be loans or whether it actually be a nominal fee, because I think they're both out of contract at the end of the season. Mackay definitely is.
Checking that. Mackay is. I'm not sure about Oda.
Oda's maybe got 18 months left on his. I don't know.
Yeah, something along those lines. But it's good to see, because it's been the biggest issue we've had this season is created chances. Obviously, Shankland's not been firing like he was the last 2 seasons, and probably making our attacking ability look a bit better than it actually is. So having a new striker coming who looks a bit different for what we have at the moment, a bit more pacey, likes to get in behind, kind of stays in between the sort of goalposts. I like. We'll just see how it translates. Obviously, he's not had a much of a game for the Belgian side, St. Gilloise, but his record in Holland looked pretty good. So, although I think it was the second division, but
yeah, but we've got to trust in the analytics. We've got to trust what the project looks like at the end of the day. I know we can be quite fickle as fans. It might be an understatement, but we need to trust. We need to trust that particular process. Give them a bit of time. Everybody knows it. the Scottish game is totally different to many other leagues across Europe, possibly the world, and that you don't get the time to on the ball like you would do maybe on the European stage. So from that side of things, yeah, let's see where it goes. But personally, it's positive. But I think we need other players who have pace to make sure that he's got the best chance possible of being a success.
Agreed. Definitely.
And Oda has 18 months, just for
Yeah, I just found that out as well, so it's all good. And then at the other side of the park, obviously, we've had our injury woes, and start of the week last week was, well, it wasn't the start of the week, but later in the week was that Rills was going to be leaving, so that kind of was leaving us a bit short. At that point, Jamie McCart then was rumoured and signed quite quickly after that, because it was meant to be a pre-contract, and then he signed permanently. 4.5-year deal seems a bit long, but from what the minimal 10 minutes we seen him off on Sunday, he looked fairly. It was 5 minutes of that. He won his header. He looked 100%. Physical. I don't know. It looked alright to me, but I can't even. I remember him for St Johnstone, but I would be lying if I told you I had any outstanding memories or anything like that.
Yeah, I think again you've got to understand that, again, he was successful. Or I say successful. He won, back the 2 trophies with St Johnstone a couple of seasons back when they won the League Cup and the Scottish Cup, done the double in the same season. He's went to Rotherham. By all accounts, I believe he played, most games for Rotherham. So from that point of view, yeah, let's give him the time. It'll take a bit of time to develop a relationship and a partnership with whoever is going to be beside him, whether that be Yogi Koki, whether that be Halkett. And I will say, well done to Halkett on Sunday. I think he won every single header bar one on Sunday. He was excellent in the air. But that's never been the question. That's never been in question with regards to Halkett. It's when the ball's at his feet and he's trying to run with it. That's where things maybe don't work as well as it could do for him. But yeah, I think for McCart to come in, he knows the league. From that side of things, we should be okay. But as I say, it all depends. The Rouse deal might fall through, but it would be good to see him progress. Right? Let's be honest. I think in the last 5-6 weeks he's looked a lot more assured. Maybe back to that Rills that we seen before his injury and the World Cup back in 2020, whatever it was. 2024? 22? 22.
Aye. It was that winter one, wasn't it?
Aye.
Aye, I think you're right. To be honest with you, Rills, he's got his deficiency. You talk about players suiting Scotland and whatnot. I'm not sure Scotland is the best league for Kai Rills, to be honest. I think if he does go to like an MLS or something, he's probably going to be quite good because he is athletic. He's good with the ball at his feet. He's not having to have that sort of. We're talking about McCart being physical and winning the headers, and Halkett winning the headers. Rills that's where he struggles, to be honest. So him moving on to another league would be probably good. And to be honest, I'm not against it. Like I kind of give Rills a bit of pelters at time to time. He's been decent this season, but at the same time, everyone has their time to move on, and we gave him a daft contract at a time after that World Cup, and
yeah,
probably nobody's going to ever pay. If it's rumoured that it's only 600k, that is a bit low, but that is what it is, isn't it? Really.
Well, you say that it is a bit low. I get that, but again, it's not like that. He's not like he's the number one name on the team sheet kind of idea. And he's always got a mistake in him. So, anything between 6 and 800, I thought would be a sort of decent enough figure. And given that the club are already discussing percentage of resale and everything else, then that's a positive as well. So yeah, it could be 6 to 800k. That could go up. But let's be honest, is he £1 million football player? If you're hard pressed to ask that, is he worth £1 million?
No.
There you go.
He's an internationalist. He's young. He's a modern day centre half. Nah, I can't even lie to you, Kev. I wouldn't pay him 10 grand, but that's fine.
Well, there you go, mate. That says everything.
Sorry, just down there. So I keep having to mute because I'm just like coughing and everything while we wait. So if you do have to just ad lib as you go, just watch out for me, Ryan. There. And with that, I've completely lost it. Any other sort of transfers we've seen that's worthwhile? There's nothing really set in stone. That's people are making up all sorts of rumours and it's getting ran with. That's about it.
Yeah, I think there's a number of it is rumours. I know that a lot's been talked about the boy at Kilmarnock,
of course,
Armstrong.
I did see there might be something in that though. I don't know if you see the Critchley's Sky interview today.
I didn't.
Kind of got asked about it, and he didn't really.
He didn't dilute. He didn't sort of just chuck it out and saying no. He just said that he was aware of the guy. Knows him from playing at Kilmarnock. I guess there are scouts, of course, across the club that will be aware of Armstrong. He's put in decent performances, especially last year. But is that a case? We've seen before of players coming in from other clubs and maybe not hitting the heights. Let's put it that they show that their parent club or the club they played with. And this is not a dig at Danda in any way, shape, or form, but here's a great example. Danda looked great when he was at Ross County last year. He came into us and maybe not being the same level of player. Yeah. Is that because expectations are now on his shoulders? Possibly. And sometimes certain players just can't get that anchor off their ankle to sort of let them play freely in the way in which they did with a previous club because expectation is so high. But would Armstrong improve the team? Yeah, of course he would. But in my opinion, an Armstrong coming in means an Oda or Mackay leaving. Now, I don't have a problem with either of them going. I think it would be a better addition to the side because Mackay over the last 6 months has not shown me anything at all. He's the most frustrating player, in my opinion. He's got the ability, but it just doesn't show it. And that to me, being somebody who loved playing football back in the day, that's probably one of the most frustrating things about him.
When you've got like Forrest and Musa playing ahead of you who don't have half the technical ability that Barry Mackay has, it says quite a lot about Barry Mackay and his attitude. Drive. Aye, exactly. Attitude. Yeah. That's all it comes to, really. I'm surprised, actually, to be honest, that we've not seen Oda at all under Critchley. I think we've seen him maybe, 10 minutes at the end of the Ross County game, was it? No.
I think he's played little bits here and there. He played against, was it the last 10 minutes of the game against... Yeah, I think it was the last 10 minutes of one of the games just when Critchley came in. Right. He played against Copenhagen in the European game as well. So he's been there or thereabouts. I know he was injured when Critchley first came in, and that's never great for any player. You've seen a manager go, a new manager come in, and you've not been able to show that manager what you can do because of either you are injured and not even on the training field, or you're returning to the training field and not 100% fit. And I think from that point of view, I think that's where Oda finds himself at the moment, is he's not 100% fit, but he's not getting game time, which means that he's always going to be at that 85%, which is just, unfortunately, that's football. So we'll see what happens in regards to that. I was quite interested with the sort of chat on today with regards to, or yesterday and today, was about George Grant, who I thought actually played really well on Sunday, and I know we'll come in and speak about that shortly. Mm-hmm. But even Boyce has played well over the last couple of games. Yeah. Couldn't hit, cow in the arse with a banjo. Couldn't score in a barrel full of fannies, as I said to a couple of the boys on Sunday coming back for the game. But what he does do is he links play up really, really well. We don't have that kind of player at this moment in time. I'm not saying go out and give him another 12-month contract. That is not the right thing to do. But unless somebody comes in and offers money for him in this particular window, you keep him, you use him, and you use his sense on the pitch and let that rub off on others, like Wilson, like Musa, any of the other sort of young lads that are coming through and do and in training, because that's one thing that Boys showed you. You look at the goal that he set up for Wilson up in Ross County in the opening sort of few minutes of the game. I think it was the 3rd minute or whatever it was. That's what Boys can give you, and nobody else in the team has that ability at the moment, which is shocking from our point of view, from a recruitment point of view, that you do not have anybody else who can play that particular role. So yeah,
seems to be sort of helping Wilson through the games as well. Like, it's kind of easier and talking him through, which I like. It's good.
Yeah, that's what you've got to do for young lads like Wilson. He's only 17. He's still learning his trade. If you take a 17-year-old joiner, plumber, whatever, they learn off the other guys that are on the job with them. So why should being a football player be any different? So from that side of things, yeah, that's what that in itself is worth a hell of a lot, or could be worth a hell of a lot in the effective maturity of James Wilson as a football player. So from that side of things, it's definitely worth keeping him until the summer. But as I say, that's the kind of player that you need to be looking at 22, 23, 24 years of age. And that's the kind of player you really want to see coming into the team.
Totally. And as you say, it's I'm quite shocked to see Boyce and Grant kind of. I fully expected them to be away in January, probably by this point in January, and I think they've played themselves both back into the team, and I don't see them going in January. Summer maybe not, but at this point in time, they've now got another 4 months to prove what they can do, 5 months to prove what they can do. Essentially, for me.
I agree, but I agree with what you say, but I don't think giving Boys even another 12 months at the end of this year is the right thing to do. I think you get to the end of the season, or probably actually discussions will be held this month and next month to say to Boys, look, thank you very much. You've been here for, what's that, 5 years? No, they came in 2020. Been here 5 years. Unfortunately, 18 to 24 months of that you've been injured. However, in the games that you've played, you've always given you've given your all, and yeah, sometimes that's not been, it's just not been successful for him. However, you can't question his desire to play football, unlike others that we've already spoken about.
Yeah, 100%, man. Absolutely. Next one, well, I suppose talking about them, I suppose we'll talk about the Motherwell game on the 2nd of January, it was. Obviously, we know this is our first of the year, so we've not covered any of that so far, but I suppose the biggest shock on the day was that there was no Shankland with his, I believe it's a calf strain or calf strain, that's it. So expecting him to be out a few weeks. I think everyone prior to the game was a bit like collectively shat it all at once and were worried what was going to happen with Boys coming in, but to be honest, as you say, I think done well at the 10. Like to play, and against Motherwell, what was your overall sort of thoughts on the performance, Kev?
I must admit, I think the game on Thursday against Motherwell and that extended over into the game on Sunday against United, I think we've always looked assured on the ball, right? That's never been in question. I think you go back, you look at the United game at home earlier in the season under Naismith. We were good on the ball, we just didn't put the ball in the net. That was, in my opinion, last Thursday, the same scenario. The only difference was we did put the ball in the net at least once, and we were quite assured in defence. Yes, you can say, Gordon's had nothing to do until the 92nd minute or 93rd minute of the game, really. Everything that what you would class is bread and butter for any international goalkeeper was what he had to deal with beforehand. But I think overall, I think the performance of Penrice and Spittle is becoming That's the out every single time. That's the way in which we create chances down that left hand side. I think what Grant and what Benny, Boateng give Spittle and Penrice is the ability to actually go and use the space in front of them.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, yeah, I quite I enjoyed the performance on Thursday by everybody. As I say, the one thing that you've always got to worry about with a 1-0 is it's very, very quickly it changes. As the case was, even 2-0, the the result can change very, very quickly
That is true,
at the drop of a hat. And I know again, folk will probably come for me, but I don't really care. You look at the save that Gordon pulls off at the end of that game against Motherwell last week is world class. No getting away from it. That is never in question. What I do personally question is why another goalkeeper, I believe, would come and get that before it even got to that particular position, before it got to the opportunity. If you control your box, you come out and get it. I remember even Gordon first time round, Anthony Niemi, to an extent. Other goalkeepers we've had, Jamie McDonald, maybe not, of course, and Pierre definitely not, because that boy couldn't catch the cold like you can, Tam. But you've got players there, or goalkeepers, that have been at the club over the last 15, 20, 30 years that come out and control their box and take a cross. I think if Gordon comes and takes the cross, that opportunity doesn't even happen. But he's very reluctant to come out now into a busy box. And I do think he won't admit it. Of course he won't. But I do think the injury of 2-3 years ago, I think that still sits in the back of his head. And a lot of the decision making. But
it's definitely seems reluctant, like you say, come out.
Yeah, a couple of times. You look at, I don't want to go back and discuss the Ross County game. We've touched on that. But if he moves his feet and comes out quicker to get that second, then we're not even talking about it. We could be looking at 3 victories in a row.
Yeah.
It's little things like that. It's little decisions that are just hampering him. That's all it is at the end of the day. He's still a world class goalkeeper, but the issue is that, I know it sounds harsh, but the issue is the decision making when there is a 50-50, even 60-40 in his favour. That's the way I see it at this moment in time. And I think we may play ourselves into a very, very bad situation that both our goalkeepers, or both our possible first choice goalkeepers, will be out of contract at the end of this season. And that, to me, is worrying, because then you're looking at another rebuild in the summer. And we as fans are probably sick to the back teeth of actually rebuilds. And we can't keep doing it.
Agree. It's the spine of the team you kind of want to keep as well. So
yeah, and I know that everybody comes at when you say, "Oh, but Gordon's this, that, and the next thing." Yes, Gordon is this, that, and the next thing. But what he isn't the future, and that's what you've got to remember.
Well, talking about the future, Kev, I'm just going to fight it. But I've been really impressed with James Wilson leading the line. I think he's done really good for a lad that's only 17-year-old. He doesn't seem to. If you didn't know he was 17, you would question he was plays with a lot more years. Is what I'm trying to say. There you go. He's done very well, getting into space, running the line, pressing high up, and it's nice to see him get his chance coming onto a game. It's one of those cases now where I'm glad we have another striker come out, because I feel like at 17 you could probably burn him out quite quickly, and I don't want that to happen. But I think it's good to see that we've got that player there that we can trust as well.
I agree with you. I think there is that worry that you could as a 17-year-old burn out. But let's take a couple of steps back. When he was 16-year-old, teams like Man United, Nottingham Forest, I believe, were interested. Liverpool were interested in him. So these kind of clubs, right, don't become interested if you've not got an ability about you. And what Wilson has shown, and he's running the team over the last, what's he played? And he's at least been involved, I think, in the last 10, 12 games.
Something a lot. Mostly when Critchley's been in, to be honest.
Yeah. He's maybe played, he's played 90 minutes in a number of games. Of course he has. But really, since his goal against, was it Ross County? It was Ross County at home. Was it Ross County at home when it dropped into him? Or no, sorry, St Mirren. St Mirren. So from that particular game against St Mirren, when he's been given an opportunity, what he's done, and this is credit to him, is he's actually shown that he has an ability. I love it how he doesn't really give two flying seagulls around who's about him or who's defending against him. He doesn't really care. He just wants to play his game.
Seems to back himself, doesn't he? Yeah.
Of course he does. He's getting clever. There was a couple of times on both in the game against Motherwell last Thursday and again on Sunday. There was a big high ball, and he knows he's not going to maybe win the header, but he's just using his body. He's just turning his body just to put enough pressure on the guy not to get a clean header that would put the ball back into our midfield. And we're not great at this moment in time of winning that second ball. But what he's doing is just pushing enough of a body that the defender, doesn't get a clean header, knowing that could go behind the defender and he's onto it. So little things like that are clever things that he's learning, whether he's learning them from Boyce, as we spoke about a few minutes back, or whether he's learning them from others around him in the club, like Shankland, or he's got that ability and that knowledge in himself. That is a great trait to have. And he's only, I think he signed an extra 12-month contract, which takes him to next year. But I wouldn't be surprised if the club are already starting to discuss longer term. So yeah, all good from my point of view. And he's showing a lot more maturity, as you say.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to lose out on him for cheap, because I don't want to make a bold assumption, but he's going to make us millions and millions and millions of pounds. No. Yeah, so.
It's like you said, you didn't want to make a bold assumption.
Exactly. Yeah, cool. Well, so another one, actually, just to note, I was probably a bit critical of Forrester when he started him playing, but I think Adam Forrester last couple of games has shown a bit more sort of about him as well for me. I think he's delivering in the box, is getting there, and just seems a bit more confident. Seeing it?
No, mate, no. I get where people will come from, right? I get it. He's still a young lad like Wilson. But on a lot of occasions, and this is my bugbear, and this is not just directed at Forrester, this is directed at a number of players, is that they don't look up when they go and put a cross in the ball. It's just like, what I'll do is I'll get the cross in and I'll hope to high God that there's somebody at the back post, or there's somebody.
You say that about Penrice as well, to be fair. So
exactly, mate, and that's what I'm saying. This is not aimed at Forrester. There was a number of occasions in both games over the last week that it's just an aimless cross in, hoping that something's going to be there, rather than actually maybe being a little bit, let's just keep the ball, and rather than his out is every single time as a pass back to whoever it may be, Ogie Koki or Halkett, as it has been for the past couple of games. Put it down the line. There's space in front of you. You can see what's in front of you. Again, going back to what you said about Wilson, what I feel Forrester needs to do is, again, trust in his own ability. Right? He must have. He was captain of the B team for a while, so he's got someone about him. You don't see him making that. Put the ball down the line and run after it. Beat the boy for pace. We've spoke about it before, that we don't have pace. These are the kind of things he needs to maybe work on. And I fully understand it. again, we go back pre-season. Pre-season was shit, so guys are maybe not as fully fit as they should be. Forrester wasn't our number one option at right back. That was to be Taylor, who we hopefully will see before the end of the season. And I believe that's the reason that we have not cancelled his loan. I believe that he will be back possibly February, March. And with that, I genuinely think that we'll actually sign him in the summer. That'll be the agreement from the point of view that we can see that there is a potential profit in his, in him as a player.
Yeah.
If we didn't, then it's stupid to even keep a hold of the boy. From that point of view, we should have sent him back to Costa Rica, like we have done with Salazar. So yeah, I think I get where you're coming from with Forrester. As I say, he wasn't our number one choice. He wasn't, I said choice in regards to that position. He's came in. He's never really put, other than the Aberdeen game where he got absolutely roasted, and we lost the game in the last few minutes. He has looked assured, but he's not yet shown enough for me to say that he is the quality right back that we've been looking for since probably Michael Smith.
Yeah, fair. I get you. I just have been a bit more impressed with him, so I thought I'd shout that out. But I do get there is still certainly improvements that could be made as well. Other than that, I suppose for the game, it says a lot that Motherwell made 3 changes at half time. I think they were a bit spooked, and even from that, I didn't feel like anything was really an issue till that save you spoke about already and you touched on. But I just have to say, how was that goal ever chopped out in the first instance?
Well, that's a really, me and the guys that I sit around about in Section G, a couple of the guys believed that he was going to chop it off. And I said to him, I said as well, the rule is, and we know perfectly well that the rule is not actually upheld by any of officiating in Scotland at this moment in time because it's absolutely shambolic. But the rule is that unless the referee has made a clear and obvious error, that is the only reason he should be actually called to the VAR screen.
Yeah.
So what the VAR referee has seen is that actually you, as the actual referee 10 yards away from the incident, have made a clear and obvious error by giving it as a free kick. Now, credit to the guy. He's had a look at it. He's actually went, yeah, okay, I've made a mistake there. It is a clear goal. But these are the kind of, that to me, being 10 yards away, is a decision you should be able to make without required second set of eyes on it from a box room in the middle of Glasgow. That is a worry from my point of view, is that the referee in charge can't make a decision or can't make a decision of what's 10 yards in front of him. I suppose that's
that you're right in the sense that is why VAR is there. It's there to pick that up. That is a mistake, because we've had certainly other instances where they've found a mistake out of nowhere. But there you go, and that is a clear and obvious error in that sense. So I agree with you there.
And that's where you and I had I'm not saying it was a Barney, but you and I had a good discussion. 2 seasons back before VAR was brought in, this is what I was getting at.
Yeah,
these are the kind of situations where VAR works. It didn't take long. You've made a mistake. Go and have a look at it on the screen. Yes, I've made a mistake. It's a goal. Fine. Let's get on with the game. It's these ones that take, if you're looking at a particular incident 4, 5, 6, 7 times to actually identify whether or not it touched an arm or the guy's done this, that, or the next thing, that's where I don't believe VAR is required, because the referee of the game should be making that decision there and then. And unless there is an obvious mistake, that's the only time it should be overturned. And I think we've all called that out a number of times. So I'm not going to give them any more airtime.
I was right 2 years ago, and anyway, that's fine. Kev agreed with you. For the audio listeners, Kev agreed with me that I was right, so it's class. Yeah. But obviously, I think that's mostly it for the Motherwell game. Very similar on Sunday. You were obviously up at Tannadice on Sunday. It was the exact same team though, wasn't it? Was that right?
Yep,
first time this whole season.
first time this season that it's been the same starting 11. And we've, and how many times has Ando said that on past, pods, don't change a winning team. There you go. There is, there's a great caveat and of why you do not do it. It's as simple as that. So yeah, same starting 11. I think from my point of view, I didn't have a problem with it. It's good to see that the players who have made a positive impact, in the Motherwell game, get the chance to do exactly the same thing at Tannadice. So from that point of view, yeah, it was nice to see that it was the same starting 11. I did wonder if Elton would have got a chance on the bench, but of course the SFA and various different government bodies that would have to give approvals and visas and everything else. No, they weren't working. They decided that they were closed, Thursday and Friday. But there you go. Nothing new there.
Yeah, it's not a surprise. I bet you if he was an Old Firm player or something, it would have been done. But that's a different story. The only other change I thought they might have seen was obviously with the speculation and stuff. I didn't know if we would maybe keep Rose and Cotton Wool and just bring McCart straight in. But and you know what? If Rose is leaving, fair play to him on Sunday because he was solid, brilliant, really good, and it doesn't show that a guy that wants to leave. Do you know what I mean? It's I don't know if he wants to leave or whatever, or it's us making a decision. But at the same time, he had a great performance. So, fair play to the lad.
I think the back four looked solid enough. I've mentioned it already. That left hand side between Penrice and Spittle, and it did make me laugh that somebody in the media, can't remember who it was, mentioned that it looks, Penrice and Spittle have got a really good relationship. So much so it looks like they've actually maybe, they've played for years together. Well, they did actually know that long ago. They played at Partick Thistle together, you had Dafty. And if you knew anything about football, you would have probably went and realised and done a bit of research. But yeah, I think the team set up exactly the same. I think you've got to have a call out, because we berate them at times. But a call out for the last 4 or 5 games where with Devlin. His ability to go and break up a challenge and win the ball back, that's never been in question. Corbett said that enough times. Ando said that enough times. It's the next part of play that's his downfall. But what he did show on Sunday was the ability to actually put his foot in the ball and assess what was in front of him. And I think Grant gives him a little bit of that confidence to actually just take your time rather than rushing it. And I thought Devlin played really, really well on Sunday.
Yeah, I thought, to be honest, the last 2 games Devlin's been brilliant. And
you got man of the match against Motherwell, I'm sure.
Did he? That's not even a surprise to us. And there's a guy on Twitter I've had a few run-ins with how he doesn't rate Boateng, I rate Boateng. He rates Devlin. I'm not Devlin's biggest fan, but I must say he is probably right. Over the last few games, Devlin's been brilliant, and and he's bringing that sort of more to his game about the actual passing ability, and he's not trying to complicate the passing, which sometimes I felt he always tried to do. Which, as you say, it's probably easier. He's just passing it to your sort of your Boyce, your Spittle, your Penrice, Forrester, whoever, to try and get them on the ball. But I agree. And you talked about the left hand side, but Kev, I wanted to touch on Penrice. Obviously, he got the goal and he's been getting his plaudits this week for it. Took the goal brilliantly, but just in terms of the season so far for Penrice, it's probably, I don't know about you, but the signing that when we signed Penrice, I was probably least excited about all of him out of all the signings when he came in. Maybe, I don't know if it was because he was for Livingston, left back. We were signing a Colombian left back at the same time, but he's been highlighted my season so far by far.
I think if you were to look at it and if ask his peers within the team, and ask them for votes on player of the season, I think Penrice takes it hands down. If I'm being truthfully honest with you, I loved his after his goal the other week there. I loved his Instagram post, saying about if only he could just chop his arms off. He's what's that now? He's scored 2 but given away 4. Is that right?
Aye, all the big moments as well. Like,
So, I mean, he's moving in the right direction, right?
yeah.
He's moving in the right direction. 2 goals in the last few games is definitely positive. But yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a number of elements, as you rightly say. A left back's never going to be the one player that you can't wait to sign. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even although, yes, as you rightly say, we were bringing in this Colombian international. Really, Penrice has put the boy back on a boat and sent him, and sent him in the opposite direction or back home, because he's been the standout performer for us. And as I say, that relationship that he's got down the left hand side with Spittle is great to see. Personally, all I want to see is the same similar connection between between that right hand side, whether that be Forrester and Musa or whoever comes in and plays that position. I think that's the way we've seen Penrice play just now is what we expected to see after the first couple of games with Taylor when he played as a right
100%.
back.
Yeah. Which kind of excites me about Taylor, actually. There's chat of him being back quite soon. As you said earlier, probably like towards the end of January, February type thing. That would be quite exciting to see how those two sides work. Because we speak about lack of pace in the team, but Penrice's energy, pace, and just ability to just never stop. Like it's brilliant. It's exactly what you want from every side. We talked about like effort levels and attitude and stuff. That is what you want to see at Hotspur.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
If and again I go back to it was one of my highlights of doing this podcast, and we've done it now for what we're coming up for 4 years or whatever. That was a highlight for me, was that night with John Cahoon, and John Cahoon made it simple. And I generally think this should be a poster. This should be something on the wall inside the actual Hearts changing room. Is play in this shirt like the guys who are here to watch you would play in it. Whether you're male, female, or whatever, if you as a Hearts fan had the opportunity and ability to play for Heart of Midlothian Football Club, that level of what your performance would look like is what the guys should be actually doing game in, game out, and not all of them are. But Penrice at this moment in time, I think he gets us. I think he genuinely gets the club. He gets the players round about him, the fans in the stands, and from that point of view, that's why everybody accepted him. I think a lot of people would have said when Cochrane left in the summer, left back could be a problem position for us now.
Yeah.
However, I wouldn't say, you could go as far to say that, have we really missed Cochrane?
There's not been a drop off, and I would 100%.
There you go. So
that's a good point. I think he does get it as well. I don't know if it's coming up the leagues first and then going from like being not local, but from West Lothian, so he is local essentially. I suppose he'll know what Hearts are about. He's came in and then he knows that what the fan base expect as well, because he's played there. But at times it's good. And I think that's definitely got an impact on it, to be honest. And to be honest with you, I worry that we've lost Cochrane, but could we? Penrice is at that age as well. I think was he 26, 25. Probably could lose him. He's got another level up on him. Probably again. Yeah.
But look, this is we can't be, and this has been my biggest issue especially this season, is that element of sentimentality that we've got as a club. We are a selling club. That is just the way it is. If we are the stepping stone for players, fine.
Yeah.
But give us the performances and the level of play that we've seen from Cochrane, that we're seeing currently from Penrice. You go back to, why did Celtic want to buy Paul Hartley? It's because Paul Hartley showed week in, week out what he could do with a football and what he could do for a team. We've never had a Paul Hartley since. We've never had a central midfielder that actually has played the same way as Paul Hartley. We went a number of years between Colin Cameron and Paul Hartley. I think it was like 4 or 5 seasons, maybe even much as that, 4 seasons.
That was about 20.
But no, correct. Now we are gone, God knows how many seasons without that kind of player. And I fully understand and appreciate that trying to find that kind of player is difficult. Those kind of players are not found in every single team. But it's that, it's that aspect of, if you are using Heart of Midlothian Football Club as a stepping stone, that is perfectly fine. But let's see the performance.
Yeah, no, you're right. There's a difference. Vargas coming out and saying, I want to take the step up. And he's putting in performances like he has been of recent times. And his performances were no more summed up than on Sunday at the end, where he made the wrong decision again. And if you're using the club as a stepping stone, you're only going to make it a stepping stone if you're playing to a higher level than the rest of the Hearts team. So, yeah.
Correct. If you make a name for yourself, right, and that one on Sunday for Vargas, if Vargas has got aspirations to move on, not a problem. From my side of things, not an issue at all. I don't have a problem with it.
Agree.
But what you've then got to do is you've got to be confident in yourself. He clearly at this moment in time doesn't have the confidence in himself. If he did, he would have taken that shot on a lot earlier.
Yeah. And it's not the first time this season he's made the wrong decision, took the shot early, or took the shot too late, or not passed it in time. And it's a repetition of that anyway.
It's exactly that.
Other than that, I don't know. We spoke about McCart. Oh yeah, he came on in the 91st minute, Kev. You were right. So we've seen probably about 4 minutes of him, if that. But I think we'll probably see him and Elton at the weekend. But anything else to add before we talk about Aberdeen?
Yeah, I just want to call out the fan base on Sunday. We had that section behind the goal at Tannadice, and it was probably one of the best away days, or away atmospheres anyway, I've been at this season, and let's class it in the league. Our European away days have been, they're different levels, and but let's be honest, they're of a different, there's a different clientele go as well. Do you know what I mean? But that fan base on Sunday, from when I got into the ground at 2:55 or whatever it was, right through to 5 o'clock when we were all leaving, was right behind the team. I know, again, social media, there's a number of people saying we should be right behind the team. We always are. But as
Especially
I say, yeah, especially away. The drum was there, the ultras were there. Call out to a number of them who kept everybody going. It was great.
And to be fair, as you say, it's a Sunday before the Monday where most folk are going back to work after festivities in January. It was freezing cold, and as you said, all you could hear on the TV as well was Hearts fans. It was, yeah, I agree with you, Kev.
It was. I think the SPFL's Instagram page, they had the Penrice goal, and I need to call out, and I don't really like swearing on this particular podcast, but fuck off if you're giving that assist to Liam Boyce. Get that in the fucking bin.
That's the rules, apparently. I never knew this. It makes no sense.
There was no chance of me being the flipping assist in that.
Who actually passed it? Forrester or something, was it? Aye.
So Forrester headed it. I think Forrester headed it back.
Headed it back. Boyce completely missed it. But then, okay. Weird.
Embarrassing to give it to him. And even embarrassing.
I've got the BBC website here, and it literally says assist L. Boyce.
It's embarrassing that Boyce will even take that. But anyway, there you go.
He doesn't have a choice.
But what you did notice was Tannadice as an actual venue was dead quiet. Dead quiet. You can even hear, Forrester, and you can hear players shouting that they're going to win the ball, it's their ball, whatever. And then, of course, you get that little way when Boyce makes an absolute Ricky Hunt of it. And then, of course, for that point of view, then Penrice smashes it past the keeper. And it was a great finish from him. But, yeah, it just shows you that we were the only team we were the only fans that were making any noise on Sunday. And from that point of view, I loved my day. It was good, all in the fact I was driving.
I I was going to say that it sounds like you had a skin through, but that would.
No.
You love
Mate,
driving up to Dundee, Kev. That's it.
it depends on who's in the car with me, and I don't have to
Okay,
stop every
cool.
25 minutes so that they can go and have a push.
Don't know who you're talking about. Anyway, another away game coming this Sunday. We've got Aberdeen, who absolutely mad their drop off, to be honest. But I don't want to go over it too much because if there's anyone needing a result, and you know what these fixtures are like, when it's Hearts v Aberdeen, the home team tends to come out on top.
Exactly. Upstairs Heart and Midlothian Football Club to give you a chance.
Exactly. But it's a bit mad what's been happening up there, and makes you feel like you could have a better go. But as we seen earlier in the season, we played pretty well up there and still walked away with 0 points. So we actually, and our home game against them, we probably should have won that as well. So
it's Sunday. That's a pain in the ass from my point of view, as it's a Sunday game. Had it been Saturday, I would have been up there, but I just can't make a trip up to Aberdeen on a Sunday night or a Sunday afternoon, get back, and everything else just with general life at the moment. But in saying that, I don't really know how to take. Why? It must only be from a TV point of view. I know it's on Sky TV, so it's only been moved from that point of view, as I understand it.
It's just because it's still 3 o'clock. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Aye, and I think, if I'm honest with you, are we the only game on Sunday?
Nah, Rangers St Johnstone is also 3 o'clock. But
because there's no European football this week neither.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, we're still early in the year, so from that point of view, very strange that they've made it the Sunday. I think what we've got to do is go with the same starting 11 as long as everybody's fully fit. I know you've said there about bringing McCart in. I think the only reason McCart goes into that team or starting 11 on Sunday is if Rowles is away by that point.
Yeah, agree.
Now, this is 10 to 11 on Wednesday night. I don't know if anything will happen over the next 48 hours, 72 hours that would force his withdrawal from that team. So if he is still around, I say that you stick with him, you keep him there, and we don't make any changes at all.
Yeah, I agree, and I think I would even start Kabangu as well. I would think there's a wee bit of chaos factor in the fact that nobody really knows much about him. He'll have a few days to train with the team. I wouldn't start him. I'd bring him on at some point. Give him a run out in that sense. But cool. Prediction. Do you want to predict it, or do you want to just see what happens?
I will predict Aberdeen for a long time. I actually, every time I went to Aberdeen, I never seen Hearts get beat until 2015, something like that. And then ever since, it's just been defeat after defeat. I think the last time I was there that we won was Egert Jonsson. So that takes us back a number of years, maybe.
I think that was the last time we won, though, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. And it's not just the fact that I've never been since that game. I was there last season. I was there the season before that, blah, blah, blah. So, given their sort of fall off in the last 3 months, really, I would probably go at this moment in time. I'd take a draw, but I'd love to sneak a victory in the last few minutes. So 1-1, 2-3 minutes to go. Elton at the back post, bang! Thanks very much. Take my first goal. 2-1, back down the road. 3 points. Thank you.
Yeah, fair. I think a draw is probably what will happen on Sunday, or we get beat. So I'm just going to say 1-1.
It goes back to what Corbett said many times before. You know, if both managers could probably take a 1-1 or take a draw just now and shake hands and no bother even playing the game, they would probably take it. Yeah. But I think from the point of view that we won away from home on Sunday, a fairly decent enough performance. They've brought in a lot of players this week already. I think they've signed 3 players, possibly a fourth coming in tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah. Quite a big fees as well, eh? Like 800 grand for...
Yeah, they're splashing cash. They're splashing cash. They've got that money there. They would, of course, made a bit of money last season with the European money coming in. So that money's there for them. Not saying that means that, all the European money we get this season should be available for us next season, because it won't be. It'll be filtered away somewhere else in the club. But as I say, from that point of view, it's interesting to see where they're spending their cash.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest with you, we probably do need some points, because everyone just seems to be taking points off each other without much happening. Because obviously we've won 2 games and we're still 11, so that just sums it up. So
it does.
Yeah.
It does. You would probably say, though, that the chances of Ross County getting another victory this weekend against Celtic is probably minimal. But then you look at teams in and around us. St Johnstone play Rangers at Ibrox. I know we're 8 points clear of St Johnstone already at the moment, anyway. So from that point of view, you wouldn't expect St Johnstone to go to Ibrox and win. As I say, Ross County just above us. Would you expect them even at home to beat Celtic? Probably not. So it's on us. Do you know what I mean? To be able to move up the league, to get ourselves, in the mix, say mid-table. Then we've got to do this. Got to do the job ourselves. We can't rely on others to get us up the league. So that's on every single player that is chosen to play, or at least be in that starting or that 15, 16 man squad on Sunday.
Strange thing is, I'm just looking there. I don't know if you know about this, but Kelly Dundee seem to have a free week.
Aye, but I think that's down to the fact that they played a game earlier in the season midweek.
Ah, right, okay, cool. They choose to have it or something. Nah, there, cool.
Correct.
Anyway, that's a good for us in the sense that if we win, we would go ahead of both of them as well. So
yeah,
yeah, and that's what you want. But aye, nice one, Kev. Well, thank you for this evening, and thanks to all that have listened. Hopefully, we'll have a full house after the Aberdeen game. When we get beat, we will definitely have a full house. So that'll be it. But I appreciate it, mate. I'll speak to you later.
Cheers, buddy. See you later on.
Our girls.